хлопушка. Ой, кто-то здесь закуда. Ой, мне показалось, девушка сидит в валенках
I see a girl in felt boots.
с хлопушкой. А это сапоги такие.
I thought so. It turned out she had boots like that.
Мы продолжаем
Alright.
говорить про
So we're going on,
как устроен современный технологический
and we're going to discuss how the modern technology world is built and how to be safe and secure in it.
в этом технологическом.
And the first thing to feel safe in this technology world is trust. You need to trust it. And to trust it, you need to understand it. And to observe the basic hygiene and cyber security rules.
Из мира IT и
For this, and exactly for this reason, we're talking with professional people from IT and cyber security. I have a partner, Vladimir Vladimirovich Mayakovsky. I've been missing you. What about you? Been missing you. Vova, do you trust me? Because I'm only partly a great poet and futurist, and partly I am technology.
знаете еще
Yes, indeed. If you don't know yet
здесь
that
в
Mayakovsky
нейронных сетей
here
искусственный интеллект
has actually been recreated through
запись
AI. We took his audio recordings
написанного чата GPT
through something like a self-written chat GPT
реальным
and provided the capability to text to be read by Mayakovsky's real voice. So Mayakovsky was a futurist poet, and
через 2 месяца.
whom else rather than him we should discuss the future. In 2 months,
Поэтому я очень
he'll be 130
соведущим.
years. I'm very happy to have such a great co-partner. I would say that our tandem is an example of an awesome symbiosis between human and technology. Well, this is true. This is true.
А мы
Okay,
говорить дальше. И следующая
we're moving on.
очень горячая тема
The next
про
hot topic
безопасность
is
маркетплейсов и доставки.
about the security of marketplaces and delivery services. Everybody is using product delivery services, ordering products from marketplaces and foreign
Мы и пообщаемся
marketplaces. How secure it is,
с техническим директором
we'll find out by the discussion from Andrei Selivanov, CTO, Azbuka Vkusa. So Taste ABC, well-known
СДЭК.
chain.
Не знает.
Pavel Telikov, CTO ZDEC.
Привет.
Everybody knows ZDEC, the delivery service.
Алексеем Федуловым, руководитель
Alexei Fedorov,
контроля качества и противодействия.
head of quality control and fraud control at Ozon,
Привет.
another very well-known name.
И Максимом
Hi.
Якимовым,
And Maxim Yakimov,
киберугрозам
head of cyber threat control,
арт. Это те,
Stage Cyber Art. These are the guys who monitor cyber incidents.
давайте для начала
To start with,
насколько
I suggest we discuss
безопасно заказывать
how safe and secure
или что
it is to order products and services
сервисы через онлайн-платформы,
over the internet through online
что не
services, online platform, because everybody's using that, and I'm sure that nobody is getting a question
что-то такое
about it being dangerous and unexpected. So if you either
ну, вот здесь вот будьте начеку.
confirm that, hey guys, I keep using that, or be aware. Dimitri, let's start with you. Hi everyone, once again.
Сначала убедиться,
Actually, you
сотрудничаешь у кого-то.
first have to make sure who you are collaborating with and whom you are ordering delivery from. If it's a well-known player,
Проверять
it's
то место, куда ты отдаешь свои
secure enough.
данные, там номер
So basically, you need to check
своей карты.
people that you're offering your personal details, where you pay with your own card.
Не стесняйтесь.
Okay, don't hesitate. I was just, aligning my thoughts. Well, actually, hi, thanks.
На любой
Actually,
компании, которая работает в e-commerce,
any company
ответственность за
working in e-commerce
которые доверяют.
has the responsibility
Компания со своей стороны
and it is accountable for
по обеспечению сохранности
keeping customer data safe. And the company that is not
обеспечение
keeping this data safe, it will be forced out
текущих
of the eco-market.
та
So providing data security
для вообще существования
in the current reality is a must-have for you to keep existing in the e-commerce marketplace market.
Проблема, и мы в
I will add, indeed, it's a very important problem now. And our company, just like any company working in the e-com market, we're paying a lot of attention to verifying the data, to checks, to control fraud. We're investing quite a lot of efforts there, so it's quite safe to work with us.
Что
Put it this way,
доверять никому, наверное, можно паранойю.
if you don't trust anyone, you can become really paranoid. You have to trust to some extent.
Но я придерживаюсь принципа Zero Trust, да, не
But my principle is,
уйти в такой...
my principle is zero trust, of course, but you can get really paranoid if you apply it everywhere. So you won't trust anything.
Не будете.
And in such a situation, you won't be able to use anything useful. As to the applications, how secure they are, well, everything is relative.
Компании, которые задумались,
There are companies that are thinking about security
смотрели.
and have a whole history of looking in that direction.
Компании, в принципе, перешли за формальное выполнение требований по информационной безопасности в сторону.
So with the start of the events that we all know about, the companies has moved from a formal compliance to practical compliance,
То есть
and the products are becoming
и
much more protected. The companies has changed their approaches,
безопасной разработки сейчас
and this process of software development
и
is gradually
в том числе и маркетплейсы, и в любые другие
getting
разработчики начинают учитывать.
engaged in marketplaces and other. So developers are
Сталкиваться вообще с
using the secure development process more and more.
Давай, я
Ну, я буду не в порядке.
Should we here listen to worries about fraud?
всегда
А прям примеры можете привести?
Yes, of course. Well, can you give an example? An example?
наверное, как и на любом маркетплейсе, пример
Well, it's just like in any marketplace.
с тем, чтобы
The simplest example is with counterfeiting a bill of lading, so
опираясь на
that you can get money from the victim based on the document that would make the victim believe that the product is
Фальшивую накладную.
being shipped to us. So I, as a fraudster,
не хочется говорить мошенник,
falsify a
лицо, которое выступает
bill of lading.
мошенника,
Oh, not yourself. You're not a fraudster, but a person posing as a representative of a
на
supplier,
к нему обращается жертва,
posts information as a supplier,
и
then a victim gets in touch with them. They reach an agreement, but they decide to
переходит
bypass the safe
и договариваются
transaction mechanism, just
куда-то в обмен
use a messenger, WhatsApp, or whatever, and decides about the money to be transferred to the customer account against like a bill of lading.
фотографию.
And it appears that the customer has sent real money in exchange of some picture. And how is that connected? No, I didn't mention SDEC. It's the general principle. Then I'll have another question.
Практики. Вот
In your practice, in your experience,
есть вот ваш сервис.
so there's the service, delivery service that you're offering.
Мошенники
Are there any situations when fraudsters try to use your service in order to cheat the system, in order to cheat somebody else? I mean, online fraudsters.
Например, приведу.
Давай.
Let me give an example.
Когда спрос
Демия.
на доставку лавинообразно вырос,
When
и
the days when the delivery
с количеством
demands
было достаточно
grew
чем обязательно воспользоваться.
considerably,
И Это к предыдущему,
the suppliers and delivery organizations were not coping.
сильно похожие на
What the fraudsters
азбуки вкуса и
what the fraudsters did was that they built websites that looked very similar
в лучшем
to
случае
supply
был
sites.
товар.
So where the fraud is, in the best case, you are going to be brought
Денег без
a product,
и
and even from our own. But
это вот это
the worst case,
под
you'll stay within,
поставщиков
you'll stay without goods or money.
мы
So this kind of mimicry, posing for the legal supplier,
из какого-то
became quite popular at a certain point in time. So when you're trying to order something from some intermediary, from some large chain or a store, please check this intermediary. It could be a one-night stand, the company that doesn't really exist. Because we had cases where our customers
10-20
turned to us saying, we ordered delivery, paid 20,000, 30,000 rubles, and nobody arrived. We started an investigation. Turned out that they made an order not in our website, but on some very similar website that fraudsters specifically developed just to cheat.
на нас
And how to
было размещено логотипы этого.
understand that it's not your site. Well, actually, it didn't even look like ours. It just had our logo.
Это хороший вопрос.
How can you recognize such site? It's a good question. In legal sites,
Указано
you always have the legal details of your company.
информация о том,
You can look for the information. When it was organized, what's the founding capital? Does it have?
это мошенники. То есть
I mean, is there any information about it?
у вас возникает
You can do some investigation, for instance.
гигиена.
But it's mostly about digital hygiene.
По поводу мошенничества. Мошенничество работает
As to fraudulent activities, it doesn't really work like B2C.
с партнерами,
It's also there between companies because we have integrations with partners, including delivery. And then fraudsters come to us. So there's a courier of a third-party company that is in collusion with another person. He shows us a screenshot of an order that needs to be collected. So his friend
заказом. Говорю,
comes to us and asks for the order. And then the real courier comes and says, I want to pick up the order, and they say we've already, shipped it.
Да, я поддерживаю.
This thing also exists. Yes, I will
Стали
Чуть поближе вот так вот.
support my colleagues. Can you please keep the microphone closer? Fraudsters started to
известные сервисы,
use
известные магазины,
mimicry
известные имена, они
quite broadly,
площадку,
posing as representatives of well-known names.
чего они превращают.
They come to a marketplace. We understand they're not going to sell anything. They're not going to deliver anything. The only advice I can give is that please
Площадки мы запрещаем продавцам.
do all communication on the marketplace. We don't allow sellers to communicate with customers on third-party messages. So everything should happen right on the marketplace. That's what we tell them.
Она давно была, и это называется фишинг, собственно, фишинг.
Well, the mimicry story is not a new one. It's called phishing. There are phishing sites that
Речь про
accurately mimic as the lawful resources. As to the marketplace,
в этом мире
people have to understand the basic rules of digital hygiene.
там способов отличить.
There are several ways to
Там бывает
understand the difference between an official site and
сайте, там, да, допустим,
the
ну, да,
fraudulent site. Can you list them? For instance, there would be typos.
Ну, то есть как
Like, for instance,
наименование,
there should be one letter S in the word, and there are two of them.
как нолик.
да, либо,
Or zero instead of O.
ну, разные, в общем,
Yeah, well, different ways.
наименования сайта.
So
Собственно,
the website name.
без шифрования.
Also, sometimes they don't use encryption.
То есть многие там не заморачиваются и не делают
They
безопасность.
have HTTP rather than HTTPS.
Сертификат SSL. Бывают опечатки на сайте.
There are typos
Бывает
in the
быстро
site text.
быстро создание фишинга.
When they, create phishing domains fast, they
Сграпили быстро, то есть,
sometimes lose attention.
и он
They
перенесе, есть там определенные
grab the site
переходы, либо какая-то всплывающая
and
реклама, возможно.
don't get rid of the mistakes or
И, соответственно,
errors.
вы на этом сайте
And so on this side,
перевод,
when you're on this side,
даже формочка,
even without any
там информацию,
transfers, there would be a form to enter your credit card information.
да, собственно, без денег.
So if you do that, you can,
Собственно,
stay without your money.
что такие истории есть.
You just need to be aware of these things happening,
Делают
to find a way living with these
для
things.
того, чтобы
Nikolai, is your company doing anything so that your users should not get into such traps? For instance, somebody, wrote ozone using a zero rather than O.
на
Somebody is trying to do something like phishing
для того,
to pose as the company. Is the company paying any efforts,
Ну, я хотел добавить
making any efforts for customers not to be trapped?
и как раз
I would like to add something to the previous discussion, and in continuation of what you're saying.
себя
A
удалось
good way to
переход в приложение.
stop
Еще
any interaction with fraudsters
подделать мобильное,
is to use mobile apps.
там, не знаю,
So they haven't yet reached the stage where they could just
проверить приложение,
offer their own mobile app to make people believe that you're the right.
приложение.
In any way, it's much easier to check the mobile app. You can check who's the publisher, and also companies themselves are watching
Если вы хотите что-то
such
в
fraudulent apps to appear.
да, то
So if you want to order something from a marketplace, everybody has a smartphone.
если есть
Use the smartphone, use the mobile app.
Тинькофф
And it has all the integrations,
и вы
and you can get authenticated and authorized in a trusted way. And through this mobile app, you'll see the entire assortment that's on sale. This is the simple recommendation.
делают сами компании на своей
As to what the companies are doing on their side, of course, we are countering it.
доменов за кибер.
We are watching domain registration. We keep an eye on cyber squatting.
Появление каких-то
We
где-то с названием
watch doppelganger sites appearing. So, of course, we are doing this work on our side for the very simple reason,
да,
just like Dmitry gave an example.
начинают
So,
обращаться,
because victims start coming to the company
поток негатива
that has been forged, and this generates a flow of negative feedback in social networks.
будет до
And even if you're completely right, it would be very difficult for you to bring across to the audience.
кейс уже
We're also the victim. This case is becoming impossible because the opponent on the other side says, look, okay, I understand, it's their fault, and they're laundering their money, so and they're trying to make me look like a fool. So it's not a company
борются, отслеживают
one would deal with.
пространство, в котором мошенники могут как-то дискредитировать их бренд их,
So
или что-то связано.
the companies are trying to track the digital environment to mitigate such risk. Yes, of course. We, as
наши
players in the online
за этим следят.
shopping market, it's up to us. It's our responsibility to keep an eye on that because this is a factor of our reputation, and this shapes the attitude of our customers to our service.
С Озоном
Even though we're sitting here, in some markets we're competitors, but here we're sitting next to one another and discussing things. Yeah, I would like to add something. Yes, indeed, a mobile app is a safer story than web, but from what we see,
Коллеги,
as colleagues rightly mentioned,
относительно сайтов, которые делают,
regarding the websites that fraudsters build.
которые ведет,
Most often it works through one button that goes straight to pay. If you start clicking on your own site, you never go other than to payment, to the checkout.
мы также
Also, just like
домен
we protect our names, we're also looking for domain names that fraudsters register
Но
to pose for us, and we
Смотреть, откуда вы
make efforts to get them deregistered.
скачивали случай,
Yes, this is true for mobile apps, but you probably have to understand where you have downloaded these apps from, because I had examples where the
Флешка какая где лежит где-нибудь. Я так
это
говорю,
the app was downloaded from an APK. It was based on our own, but it had some
Вы говорили
malware injected.
приложение. Вот по вашей статистике,
From your statistic,
пользователи заказывают в основном
your
через
users,
приложение сейчас.
are they mostly ordering using a mobile app now or using a web browser?
приложение преобладает.
Mobile apps are outweighing,
к тому, чтобы
prevailing.
mobile first.
Yeah. We strive
Приложение, потом уже веб.
to achieve a mobile first situation. First mobile, then.
Могу ответить то, что
Yes, with that as well.
чаще всего пользуюсь мобильным
I
приложением.
can just say that I use a mobile app
Просто
much more often. I just wanted to add
касательно
about the app security.
есть приложения, просто
Well, of course, there are fake apps.
появляются там приложения
It's just the stores
определенные.
where they're posted, they go through some verification. Even if it's illegal,
А вот
they're taken out quite
когда там выкинули из Google Play,
fast.
там
But we had a problem when a lot of Russian companies have been thrown out of Google Play, like our green-colored bank and others. Every time the app is updated,
как раздавить.
you have to update it not from this store, but a third-party resource.
Там,
Every time I stop, but still place the update button, because you have to update things.
доверять, если хочешь пользоваться.
So you still have to trust if you want to use services.
Хочется спросить про какие
I would like to ask about some new delivery technologies and processes. Yandex, for instance, uses drones. At least I saw a video how drones
продукты.
deliver
У вас какие есть тренды сейчас?
groceries. What trends do you
Сейчас уже есть такое
apply?
обычно.
Let's put it this way: what you already have out of those unusual things, and what's for sure arrive, let's say, in 2 years.
Мало что поменяется.
I don't think any radical changes will happen in 2 years, and I think Yandex is absolutely correct. Rolling out drone delivery.
Продукты питания.
Well, it totally depends on the sector. If it's about groceries,
Вот, а с учетом, что
you probably want to get the grocery in 20 or 30 minutes. And in large cities,
и
there are traffic problems, there are traffic jams,
хватает машин,
there's a shortage of couriers, cars, and perhaps drone delivery is
пока, наверное,
something that the future is about.
интеллект,
But so far, I think AI,
это когда как оптимально все построить,
salesman
например, по
problem,
который еще до сих пор.
building the optimal
Лет через 5
route.
всерьез про
I think in about 5 years' time, you can start seriously discussing drone delivery. So that as we speak today, a drone could come here and arrive here on stage and bring us some coffee.
Доставки
So perhaps it's more about optimizing the route rather than some new delivery technology.
маршрут.
And maybe removing a human from this,
И
because now route optimization is done manually,
Это мы сейчас
whereas the AI can do that better.
На самом деле
We'll have a separate discussion about AI.
применение
What about you?
современных
In fact,
технологий в логистике, оно очень широкое.
using modern technologies in logistics has taken quite a large scale. I'm not going to talk about drone delivery to the end user, because, for instance, drones are not allowed in Moscow at the moment. Whether they will in 2 years, I'm not certain.
То, о чем сказал
But
Дима,
what I'd like to say, where IT technologies help us, what Vladimir said, hyperlocal deliveries and calculating the routes, computer vision to
и
manage warehousing, and the stock management. So you use computer vision to see which shelves have how much. So it's like cameras. You put some cameras, yes, cameras, and they watch how much free space
в том или ином пункте
and what kind of, what size of parcels
можно туда.
you can put on the shelf.
И большой гордостью компании
the rack.
является
And our company's big pride
очень
is that in St. Petersburg, Hamburg,
Автоматизированный склад,
we have a huge robotized warehouse
роботы.
where indeed robots are running, and
Вот как у Владимира
just like
Маяковского, да,
Vladimir Mayakovsky said,
отдыхает человек. Вот он
so the robot is working and people are having rest. We went the same way. So robots are toiling every day, 24 hours a clock,
управлять
whereas the humans are now sitting in the control rooms
современной
controlling these robots. So we actively use modern technologies,
зрения
take big data analytics, take computer vision,
роботизации,
take robotization,
того, чтобы
so
уменьшить
as to reduce
так, на
the cost
логистических операций.
of our logistics and warehousing and to improve the accuracy.
Пока остается
And the last mile is still
в чем?
managed by people,
Я думаю, что мы можем
operated by humans.
состояние,
I think in 5 years' time, we can achieve a situation where from the warehouse to delivery point
ездить
will have driverless vehicles delivering.
конечного
But from the pickup point to an apartment or the office, I think we're not going to be there yet in the coming 3 or 5 years.
Ходишь в пункт,
I've always wanted to ask, how does it work? You come to a pickup point, whether it's DEC or Ozone, and said, oh, look, I ordered like a nail.
человек
And here's the QR code. So the person goes away. There are, 100 shells, 1,000 of boxes. They would come in a minute with this box. How?
то есть
This is also a result of using big data. When the product comes to the pickup points, it's not put at some arbitrary point so that people would spend 15 minutes looking. It's put in the right place
ожидаем
based on the pickup
клиентского
time, on the client experience with the previous orders, and other things. So if you arrive at the pickup point, let's say, on the date of notification that you have read, and we see that,
мы в твоем профиле
then we, in your profile, make a mark that Vladimir is going to come here right on that date. So we shouldn't store it somewhere
плюс
in the back room.
там влезает.
And also, of course, it should fit in
Кладем сразу.
on the shelf,
Поэтому, когда происходит сканирование, там на самом деле
judging by size. So when a scanning is done, there's a lot of magic happening. When something is scanned, the QR code, the ID,
к
and other things.
учета
So a request is sent to the warehouse management system, to the tracking
товара
over the entire
с указанием
route of this parcel,
то есть оператор
indicating the place where it says. So the operator sees where it's.
у него сразу рисуется маршрут, куда
Yes, so they immediately get the route drawn for themselves. That's actually awesome.
примерно так же.
I think Ozone has something similar.
Мы тут даже не конкурируем.
да,
We're not even competing there.
у вас ближайшие
Alexei,
технологии будущего, которые
and what about you? The forthcoming technologies of the future that will help you optimize the new delivery. As Pavel rightly said, everybody is using machine learning, big data.
Вот.
Yes, good.
Прогнозировать,
To predict,
смотреть на клиента, чтобы посмотреть его.
see the customer from different perspective to improve services. So I don't really have anything to add here. I won't say anything about robots because we live in a world where today we have something and tomorrow something absolutely different. But conceptually, everybody's using AI algorithms. So it's more likely we're talking about optimization,
внутренней обработки,
optimization of internal data processes and logistics
размещения.
between warehouses, between different
Следующий так, как ни сложно,
points on the path,
мир, в котором мы живем, да,
as exactly the world that we're already living in.
Оказание услуг там.
So reducing the effort to provide services
На тех этапах
at the stages where we, as a company,
мы можем, собственно,
responsible for the entire cycle, can manage.
твоим поведением мы управлять не можем.
We can't manage your behavior so far, thank God. So
Предложим
far.
тебе скидку там
So we can offer you a 5% 50% discount and you arrive before 6 p.m.
Управлять потребительским спросом.
You know, managing customer demands and the response times. So we're not yet there.
Управляем вашим.
I'm quite frank. We can't manage, we can't control your conscience. But for everything that's on our turf, of course, we're trying to optimize it, make it run faster. The final question to you, Max.
Все со стороны
As a person who sees all that from the cybersecurity perspective and from the outside, how do you think, with this level of automation, the immersion, the use of AI inside a company, what kind of threats they're facing, where the hacker is becoming dangerous, and
технологий.
are they becoming even more dangerous at this level of technology development? I'm always curious when they're talking about AI. I always get a question: is it really
То он выглядит как там куча
an intelligence? Because if you take a look at the AI with the eyes of a programmer, it looks like a lot of ifs. So the logic that you have in the application, the algorithms
не предусматривает,
that you have,
зависит от того конкретного разработчика, кто это заложил.
they depend on the specific developer.
Компаниям она сильно
And
увеличена.
yes,
И
the attention to Russian hack companies has grown considerably,
компьютерных атак
and the number of threats
больше. И
and computer attacks is growing.
достаточно большое количество было утечек, было
If you've noticed, there were quite a lot of leaks last year,
совершенно с разным уровнем зрелости.
and they were comparing companies with different
Тут не говоря уже
levels of maturity.
которые там
I'm
операционной
not
безопасности.
even talking about some startups where the operation security may be at the very base.
Ну, вектор, к сожалению,
Level.
вот такой. То, что будет компьютерный атак, становится все больше. Вот.
У господина Маяковского появился комментарий.
Вов, я размещаю заказ на маркетплейсе. Пришли
I'm
номер своей
placing
карты.
an order at Marketplace. Just send me the number of your card.
Три цифры сзади.
And
Там не три цифры, там одна.
3 digits
Спасибо.
on the reverse side of the card. No, it's just one. Thank you very much, friends.
Ну, наверное, все.
We've heard
Видим, что очень
from companies that are pretty representative,
работа этих компаний приводит к тому, что мы просто приходим,
and we see that
забираем
thanks to them being so advanced,
пончик с
we can come
и внутри
and pick what we want.
кухня, которая очень
The nail,
скрыта,
other products,
но доставляет
and in the back they have their
Спасибо.
Спасибо.
own solutions that make